What's going on, America? This is Kevin from Kevin's Corner, where I try to make sense out of nonsense. And there's been a lot of talk going around about how to show your support for all of these protests and all of this racial injustice and racism going around, and all the years of atrocities that has taken place, and the angry mob. And of course, Black Lives Matter, which really isn't ran by like black people. I mean, every time, you get some black people come up with an organization, there's powers out there that says, you know what? If there's going to be an organization that's going to fight the system, first things first, we want to make sure they're fighting the right system. And then secondly, we want to make sure we control that organization by supporting them financially and things like that. So therefore, it's really no longer a black movement. It's more so of a political movement that's being used and disguised as a black movement to push an agenda. Yeah, same thing with Antifa and all the rest of those knuckleheads running around. So I guess then they have received their orders to go around and make government officials, the police, just regular citizens, white folks that might be suffering from white guilt, things like that. Their goal is to make sure they do something that shows that they completely support this movement and that they are subservient to the movement and all those that are propagating it. Yeah. And they have picked the most submissive act that anyone can do. Now, there's only a few things that would make you bend the knee. Okay. Let's see. How about this? Prayer, or in the presence of God, where you're just so humble. You realize that only God is worthy of that type of submission. At the end of the day, everyone with two legs walking around with blood running through their veins is just a human. Even if we still had kings and queens, I still wouldn't be talking about some let me bend the knee. There are higher moral values in me that makes me say, you know what? If this is the law of the land, if this is what makes me acceptable in society, then I'll be an outcast. I refuse to bend the knee. So we have a case that shows that this whole push for, all of this justice for all the years of atrocity and all these organizations that are out there rioting and tearing up stuff. We have a couple cases to show what their real motive is. Now, it is not about you supporting their movement. It is not about you saying that, hey, look, man, what happened to George Floyd was horrible. I agree with you. It's not about that. It's not about that. What it is really about, just in case you don't know, is complete submission. See, it's not about how you support the organization, because let's be honest, some of the people, which we're going to cover in a second, that they're asking to bend the knee to show that you support us, can do it in other ways. See, if you come to me and say, you know what, we have poor children in Calcutta, they're suffering, they're struggling, they need water, and there's a lot of oppression going on over there. And to show that you disagree with that oppression, we'd like you to bend the knee and then vow to be very sorry over all the years of oppression that took place in Calcutta that you didn't have anything to do with, but just because people who oppressed them was the same color and the same race as you, maybe you weren't even born there. I mean, nothing. Just because they look similar to you, then some way, somehow, you're responsible for all of the atrocities and suffering of the people from Calcutta. So could you get on your knees and apologize? Do you understand? That is like making somebody get on their knees and accept Christ and they don't want to. Do you think it's sincere? Here you are sitting back with a camera on them, get them all under pressure and stuff like this, and you're up there like, listen, brother, I know we're out here in the middle of the streets and there's cameras all around, and you wouldn't want to embarrass God, would you? Huh? So we're here to pray for you, son. We want you in front of all these people, these lovely people, to get on your knees, open your mouth and confess and accept God in your heart. And the person sitting there like, you know, you set me up, right? I'm going to do it, but I don't like it. You just put me on the spot. Do you think it's sincere? They get down there, I'm sorry for my sin. People must do things because they want to, unless your goal is to break them, to control them, to make them submit in every way possible to your movement. So if you're going to protest, we want you to protest the right things. If you're going to practice a religion, you must practice the right religion we want you to practice. If you're going to use your words on the internet, we want you to say the things that we want you to say. If you're going to do anything in our society, we want to make sure that we control what you do, what you think, and the best way to show that you have been completely broken is to bow down. Kiss my Converse, like Show Enough said in the movie Last Dragon. Hey, yo, Leroy, am I the baddest? Am I the hardest lofo around? Kiss my Converse. That right there ain't cool. So now here we have it. Here's Tucker, and then we're going to listen to You Know Who Y'all, Don Lemon, and I'm going to have to destroy him. So just bear with me. First things first, let's check in and see how all of this social distancing that the mayor of LA was talking about a couple weeks ago, arresting folks and stuff like that. Because remember, if you're going to protest, you have to make sure you protest against the things they want you to. See, because when you're protesting about working, about supporting the First and Second Amendment, about not being confined to your house, that's not what we need you to. No. See, when your protest isn't a priority for them. So apparently the mayor, along with many others and many other governors, a couple weeks ago, when the common sense, sensible, self-controlled, law-abiding citizens who went up there to the Capitol in Michigan only to have their guns not pointed at nobody. They weren't aggressively going towards the police. The police didn't feel threatened. See, I mean, these guys are standing up to relax with their guns as a symbol to let you know that we're still a free, independent country, and our citizens have the right to bear arms. Our citizens have a right to make a living, pursue the American dream, and all that stuff. And the left didn't like that type of protest. And see, because we're the real dictators. We're the real ones that want that power of a king, not Donald Trump. So therefore, since what you guys support are things like laws and things like, the Bill of Rights and those pesky things like the Constitution, that's always getting in the way. Always getting in the way of our tyranny. See, we want to shut that down because our priority during your protest was social distancing. That's what it was. It wasn't just to stop you from protest. It was social distancing and preventing more spread of the virus and making sure you all had your mask on. And if you didn't listen, we so tough that we going to send the cops in to bust up all y'all protests. Facebook taking down invites, all of that stuff. But then another protest came, one that they support. Suddenly social distancing is no longer an issue. So let's check in and hear what the real motive is and what they're doing to people who don't bend the knee. Check it out. Take it away.
And our city council members and all our elected officials to defund the police.
Defund the police.
Defund the police.
Man, are you for real? Do you hear this idiot with the bullhorn during their protest that all of these people are supporting, talking about some defund the police? Now, I understand why they want to do that. See, because before you can create a complete civil war and social chaos, before you can tear down a structured and strong sovereign country, you have to unleash the crazies, okay? Right now, they're like Clash of the Titans. Release the Krakens. So you got all these Krakens running around, and one thing standing between them and complete chaos in our society, first, is the police. If we could get rid of those police, then we can be looking at complete chaos and perhaps even a social civil war. But then there's another group that's standing in the way, and that's conservatives. So that is why you often hear that, look at them up there on Capitol Hill with their guns. They're so intimidating. But the cops didn't do anything to them. That's probably because they weren't shooting stuff, burning stuff, and things like that. But you notice, they hate the fact that they remind them every time when they bring those guns out that you don't control us. You understand? Just in case you forget that, and try to push real tyranny, not the kind y'all blaming Donald Trump for doing, okay? Real tyranny that you're passively trying to slide in under all of these other issues that you're saying are a real problem. Just in case you forget, that's why we got the guns on us. So now, what that means is that these people are pushing an agenda that the cops, that the military, that President Trump, and a lot of other citizens are saying, nah, man, you want chaos, are in the way. That's what it comes down to. So now let's get rid of those pesky police and let chaos just break out in the streets. Does that sound smart? Same people right there. They don't look too tough to me. So when real chaos breaks out, I feel more safe with my guns and all of the conservatives that know how to use them and got some common sense. Versus these idiots who saying, defund the police, and don't know how to scrap, don't know how to handle a weapon, nothing. Okay, go ahead, defund the police. We'll see the last man standing when complete chaos breaks out around the country. But let's listen to a little more.
Defund the police.
Okay.
No sane person would dare to have said something like that in public just a week and a half ago.
That is true.
Now a member of Congress has endorsed the idea, Rashida Tlaib.
Say what?
So what would happen to our country if we eliminated law enforcement?
What?
Eric Garcetti is the mayor of Los Angeles, the second biggest city in America.
Wow.
His city would devolve into a murderous hellscape within hours if the police left.
Good point.
But Garcetti, who is in charge of the city, won't push back against this idea.
No.
Instead, he kneeled in subservience before the people demanding it.
Oh.
LA Mayor Eric Garcetti joined protesters moments ago. What did he have to say?
Okay.
Yes, he came out this morning, Jake, and he took the time to come out among the protesters. He knelt while he was out there saying and showing his solidarity for the movement, for the protesters here today. And I can tell you that today, this daytime protest has been very peaceful, very calm. Lots of chanting, singing.
That is because the wild kids got their way. Do you think your kid will continue throwing a temper tantrum in the store if you broke down and said, okay, I'm sorry, you want the corn pops and you want the Cracker Jacks and the Annihilators and the Lemon Heads and the bubble gum in the machine, like that? If you want it, fine. I'll take a knee. I'll give you what you want, and watch them stop crying. That's why it's peaceful. It's amazing that they picked this gesture to show your support, because this is a weak gesture right here. This right here, that body language, bending the knee, shows we lost the game. That means we lost. Go ahead. We're going to take a knee because guess what, y'all? Y'all won. Y'all better than us. Yeah. So, of course, there's no reason to continue protesting and creating violence, because the man who's supposed to be in charge that would resist that type of violence just signaled to everyone around him, his police force and everybody, that I'm broken. I'm sorry. You guys win. Pretty much take over LA. Okay, guys, nothing to see here. We broke this dude. Let's move on to the next city or state where we got somebody who ain't willing to bend the knee. And there's other ways to support a protest versus showing this. Okay, I mean, can I write a check? Can I give you the thumbs up? No? Okay. So you want me to humble myself and submit before a man in your organization to show that I'm down with the cause? Not I, say the cat. Let's continue.
He kneeled.
Yeah, Tucker.
Our leaders are kneeling before the mob. The atavistic ritual of self-abasement.
That's true, Tucker.
Of defeat.
Yeah.
Suddenly, many are performing this ritual, including police around the country.
What?
The mob wants victory, but more than that, it wants the total humiliation of its enemies.
That's pretty humiliating.
I work for Black Lives Matter. I'm sorry that I scared you. But since I work for that company, my CEO has told me to come out today and to bring...
Now, this is heartbreaking. I actually am glad this lady, whoever she is, has a mask on. Because I don't even see how you show your face in public. My example of someone being forced in public in front of cameras to get down and accept whatever religion you throw at them is the same thing happening here. Another white man just sabotages this lady and then puts her in a position to show that you support black people and what they've been through. What I want you to do is humble yourself before me and our ideology, and then apologize for all the years of atrocities and all of those things that you had nothing to do with. But I need you to say you're sorry. Man, if I knew her personally, or if this was my girlfriend, my wife, I mean, if anybody came up to me with something like this, I would say, keep that camera rolling, because they're going to love what's about to happen next. That will be the last thing the camera see. Now, let's listen to how she responds.
Bring you on your knees because you have white privilege. So if they see that a white person is getting on their knees, that shows solidarity for the situation. And could you just please apologize for your white privilege? Just apologize.
I'm trying to think of the right words to say.
It's big.
It's big.
It's large.
You know
in
why?
This country.
You know why she's trying to think of the right words to say? Because she's in her mind is going, this is the most dumbest stuff in the world. But he put me on the spot, and I don't want to be on the news, being called a racist. So I got to act like I really feel guilty of stuff I had nothing to do with, and humble myself in front of this kid who obviously is making this crap up. Yet here I am, a grown woman. All right, on my knees. And this went viral all over Tucker Carlson. But then there's one person that I appreciate would not bend the knee thus far. Hopefully he don't cave to. What's going on, America? I hate to interrupt this video, but I got some breaking news. Drew Brees has already gave way to the angry mob in the midst of me making this video. He hadn't done it yet. But now I got wind of the video yesterday, and you know what I'm saying? He came out with, I'm sorry, I hurt everybody's feelings. I'm sorry. Hey, but I ain't mean it. I ain't mean it. And I can see now. This is the problem. If he would have stood his ground, so many Americans would have his back. Now, granted, he never said he takes back what he said concerning taking a knee for the national anthem and the disrespect of the flag. He did kind of like that sorry pacification apology that the Democrats do, basically saying, I'm sorry that I hurt your feelings. I'm not sorry for what I said or did, but I'm sorry that you took it that way. Which, you know, I'm sure if I'm his PR guy, I would say, all right, this is a way where you can kind of appease both audiences. But that's the problem, because of the bullying that comes from the left. We're in a country that we shouldn't have to say, you know what? In order for me to be accepted, be supported in my sport or whatever, or, you know, as a darn athlete and comedian or whatever, I got to say and think like everybody else, or shouldn't, I won't say everybody else. I have to say and think what all of these people that are in this category feels. And if I don't, they'll punish me in so many other ways to where I got to come out and make a bootleg apology. So now let's get back to our, regular program. Okay, take care. The pressure, and that is none other than my man Drew Brees, who I just became one of his biggest fans. Brees, we got your back. Brees, be at ease, because we got your back. Let's listen to race bait and Don Lemon try to bully Drew Brees by bringing on fellow football players and stuff, piling on, trying to egg the football players to go hard in on Drew Brees, because Drew Brees is operating by a higher sense of morals and values that don't align up with Don Lemon's agenda. Now understand, y'all, we didn't bust into CNN and tell Don Lemon you don't support the First and Second Amendment unless you go get an AR-15 and go up and support all of these people in Michigan. That's not what America's about the last time I checked, but yet Donald Trump is trying to make everybody break before the military and do what he wants them to do, as this man attacks anyone who says, well, I'm not cool with bending the knee for this. Is there other ways I can support this? So let's listen to fake race baiting, softcore lisp having Don Lemon.
NFL superstar Drew Brees is getting a lot of criticism for comments he made about Colin Kaepernick's kneeling protest. Here's what he told Yahoo's Finance earlier today.
Okay, what did he say?
I will never agree with anybody disrespecting the flag of the United States of America or our country. Let me just tell you what I see or what I feel when the national anthem is played and when I look at the flag of the United States.
Okay, tell us, Bruce.
I envision my two grandfathers who fought for this country during World War II, one in the Army and one in the Marine Corps, both risking their lives to protect our country and to try to make our country and this world a better place.
Okay, so wait a minute, Drew. So you're telling me the privileges that all these angry black folks, Antifa, people on TV making millions of dollars freely, not being thrown in jail, even though they get on here and lie every day against the president. You mean these people, your grandfather, risk their lives for? The ones that's trying to oppress folks that don't agree with them and won't submit to them? You mean to tell me they risk their lives so that we don't have to bend the knee? Just because they say you don't do this, you don't support black people, you might as well be a racist. You're racist. As a matter of fact, you are a racist if you don't do this. So for the ability to choose what you say, do, where you go, where you work, all that stuff, your grandfathers risked that for these ungrateful people? And yet they want you to bend a knee to them, which goes totally against why your grandfathers fought in the war, along with many of our fathers, grandfathers, black, white, and otherwise, okay? When they was all over to getting bullets shot at them, they weren't saying, well, only shoot the black guys or only shoot the white guys. They were saying, for now, all of that, we got to put that to the side, okay? We in this together, okay? We American soldiers, we in this together. We'll deal with that after the shooting stops. It wasn't time to become divided and racist over there. They were all fighting for America. But this knucklehead is upset that Drew Brees won't, conform to the herd. Breeze, be at ease. We got your back. Let's hear how Don Lemon, oh God, let's just listen.
Well, Brees' comments outraged players around the league, but it was basketball superstar LeBron James who may have said it best.
Here we go.
Wow, man, he says.
Here we go.
Is it still surprising at this point? Sure isn't. You literally still don't understand why Cap was kneeling on one knee.
Guess what, LeBron? I don't either. I don't think at the time Kaepernick knew why. Because see, when they stuck cameras in his face, I think it was even impromptu. Yeah, you know what? Today, I'm just going to take a knee because I heard something that happened up in Washington, D.C. In fact, the two cases that he referenced, come to find out, those two black people got themselves shot. That's what happened. So you took a knee and decided I'm going to, in a sense, I mean, if you want to do it on your own time, that's cool. You took a knee during your job time, putting your boss and the team and the whole league in a tricky position because now they have to say, how do we respond to this? Because we got conservatives that says this is disrespectful. We even got liberals or moderates that say that's disrespectful. And then we got the angry mob in the media saying, if you don't like it, you're racist. You put them in a weird position. You don't really know what you want to see happen when they stick the mic in your face. I want to see some type of justice and consequences for this racism. Like what? Michael Brown. Oh, you mean the one that got himself shot? That nobody went back and solved the case, the end of the case, and no, y'all didn't see that? Oh, so y'all still think he was on his knees going, please don't shoot. Go back, watch the case, see what really happened. And then the other black girl up in Washington that got shot holding her son in her arms. And initially, a black woman shot in her apartment holding her son. Come to find out, she was also holding a shotgun, pointing it towards the cops before they burst in her house over the warrants that she disobeyed, talking to people on Facebook, telling them when they come in, I'm going to start the blasting. And the cops came in and said, put the gun down. Okay, pop, pop, pop. You mean that one? Those cases that you prematurely jumped the gun and decided, I'm going to take a knee and disrespect something that normally would bring us all together. And I'm not really protesting the people who deserve to be protested or cases that deserve protesting. That guy and that protest, we don't know. Still don't know what it's about. Yeah, see, I just told you what it was about. Ignorance. The man didn't even follow up. Ignorance. Let's listen to the rest of this propaganda.
Has absolutely nothing to do with the disrespect of flag and our soldiers, men and women who keep our land free.
Okay.
Joining me now is Benjamin Watson, a former NFL player who played with Breeze. Benjamin, thank you so much. You and Drew Brees.
You should have saw his face. Joining us. Like, I'm so disgusted with Drew. Let's listen.
He's used to be teammates for the Saints. What do you think about his comments tonight?
Okay.
Well, obviously there's a huge reaction to them, and rightly so. Okay. I've known Drew's stance. I think he said it many times before, so there was no surprise there. I think that the tone and right now during this time, he definitely could have answered that question much better in a much more compassionate way. Look.
So let me understand this. You're taking advantage of a national sensitive situation that is also being perpetrated and inflated by people like Don Lemon and others, and taking advantage of that to use this as an opportunity to make people cast away their own values and moral code and submit to your cause. That's what you're doing? Because that's what it sounds like you're doing. This isn't the time to stand up for the things you believe in. This is the time for you to conform and run with the herd. That's what this time is. And if you don't, then I think you harbor a little bit of racism deep down on the inside, buddy. Let's continue.
I think the beauty of this whole thing of America is that we can have different stances. But the problem there was that he was misunderstanding what the actual protests are about. He's misunderstanding the reasons behind it.
And that's the message they want you to think. That's the message they want Drew Brees to think. Now, let me give you my view of it, okay? Because, see, I'm black. My father was in the military. All right? My grandfather, uncle, all of them risked their lives. Now, understand, they're black. They put their lives on the line just like those white men. And yet, Colin Kaepernick, he didn't take that in consideration when he kneeled during the flag. Now, if you want us to support the ending of police brutality or anything that comes to find out is a racist act on behalf of the police, or they kill an unarmed black man and they are found to be guilty, if you want us to support that, you had that last week after George Floyd was killed. Everybody was going, I support it, man, because that situation was messed up. You got my support. Now, does that mean because I say that, the next step is, okay, thank you for your support. But the only way you can really show us you support us is you need to bow down. You need to take a knee. Okay, can I just give? I mean, is there some fun that I can give to? Because, see, I'm not against your cause, bro. I'm with you on that. But your method of me showing I'm with you, I disagree with. Because there should be multiple ways for me to show you I agree. But because you don't really want me to support the cause, but the bigger agenda is we want you to submit and do things exactly how we say you should do them, and only support the things we say are important, then we pick the way you should support it. And anything less than that, we're going to demonize you. And we're going to use people like Don Lemon trying to divide Drew Brees and his teammates and all of that, and use horrific situations like what happened to George Floyd. We're going to use all of that to make you submit. And if Drew Brees don't do it, then you sig Don Lemon on him. Let's listen to the rest of this and then we're out.
I know he's had conversations. I know guys on the team. I know they've talked about it.
Okay.
I know that they're mending that disagreement.
Okay.
But especially this week, Don, I think it was tough to hear.
Okay. It was I'm not sure if it was surprising considering some of the stances that Drew Brees has taken in recent years.
Here we go.
Listen, I'm a Louisiana native. My family diehard Saints fans. Every single person in my family is disappointed by Drew Brees' comments today and thinks that he is completely out of touch with what's happening and cannot believe that he is falling for the talking points of President Trump, who is comparing this to disrespect for the flag when it has nothing to do with the flag. And
now, did you hear that? Because I don't even need to hear the rest of the guys. First things first, he's saying that many people disagree with Drew Brees, but I'm saying that many people do. See, they miscalculated the whole kneeling up front. When Colin Kaepernick took the knee, they were like, oh, I can't believe this. And Trump came out and said something about it. And they assume, because we're the media, and we create the narrative, we formulate y'all opinions. Since they threw it out there as a chance to attack Trump, it backfired. All of those owners for teams who tried to say, well, let's go and get ahead of this. Let's go out and show the team we're with them and take a knee. And those sales went down and viewership went down. Guess what? Get your butts up. Everybody up. Everybody up. If you don't like what's going on, get your butts in the locker room. Because guess who's spending all the money? It's not these kids from Black Lives Matter and Antifa going every Sunday dropping money to go and see games. Now, that's not them. It's a whole bunch of middle class to upper class people who want to keep their stuff, want to make sure their stuff is protected, want to mind their own business, want to have the freedoms to do what they want to do, protest and not be attacked for it, as long as you ain't breaking no laws, things like that. That's all these people want. But yet, for some reason, they're bad people because they won't bow and take a knee concerning the flag. And so now you get Don Lemon has been activated, then came out off the bench to attack Drew Brees. And here he is trying to talk about it's nothing shocking or surprising considering the things he's talked about in the past. You're talking about like his belief about Christianity, the Bible, because we know how Don and them feel about the Bible. He was mad that Trump had a Bible and he said, Trump, he ain't in nobody's church. He don't read that. Like Don Lemon is there every Sunday like Heavenly Father. All that stuff. I ain't gonna even get into that, okay? Because I'm still on YouTube right now until I go to my other platform where I can say what I really want to say. Now, getting back to Don's comment, as I finished destroying this bum, this man had the nerve to say that he's using President Trump's talking points. Now, let me tell you why this right here makes me want to go in my briefcase, get my novelty large hand, and slap Don Lemon's face, bring it from right cheek to left cheek, right cheek, left cheek. This man needs a smack. Because what he is saying is that Americans, conservatives, who don't support this movement, we don't have a mind of our own. Our values are downloaded into our heads from Donald Trump. Had nothing to do with Drew Brees' grandfathers fighting in the war and Drew Brees being patriotic and saying, hey, dude, I'm not against your movement. I'm not going to kneel. What else can I do? Can I come up, show up, talk about something? I mean, what? Oh, so I got to do it the way you want me to do it? Well, I'm not doing that. So now all of a sudden, his independent thinking and decisions aren't Drew Brees'. They're Donald Trump's. Black people who support Trump. Only reason you support Trump and aren't out there looting and breaking windows out and burning stuff and killing is because Donald Trump has bamboozled y'all. Secret to Don Lemon. People that are conservative are probably the most independent, smart, reasonable people you'll ever meet. Notice, we don't run in the angry mobs. We don't respond to propaganda without saying, let's see what's really going on here. Huh? You want folks that jump and then look. That's what Don Lemon wants. And because Drew Brees looked over the edge and said, nah, man, there's jagged rocks down there and stuff. I'm not doing it. Well, you know what your problem is? You're listening to Donald Trump instead of me, just trying to tell you to jump off that cliff of your morals and your values and your patriotism and land on those rocks and burst open like a watermelon. And because you won't do that, you're racist and you're controlled and you're doing the bidding of that evil, wicked Donald Trump. And that is why Don Lemon is a bum. Now, I'm sorry I took so long on this video, but I had to go through this systematically to destroy this person on CNN. Okay? And he's really running neck and neck with Joy Reid. Him and Joy Reid right now, if they was in the 100-yard dash, they lean through. We would have to slow it down to see who's winning. That's how close they're running a race when it comes down to the worst commentators, the biggest race baiting people on TV, that those same white liberal people who own those stations that pay them millions of dollars make them get out there and push this type of propaganda every week. Don Lemon, the biggest danger to black men are white men that I'm married to. See, people like Ilhan Omar, America's racist, and all of this stuff, as I leave my husband to marry the white devil, a white man. Yeah, but he's not like the rest of the white devils. All those liberals who's saying you white people that have white privilege needs to bend the knee. Y'all need to get down because y'all all got white privilege. White, y'all all got it, but not us. See, we're enlightened. We know that there's nothing in us unpure. Therefore, we can judge you for what's going on the inside and require you to kneel before us and our cause. This is the beginning step to the end, y'all. When they start saying we can control your moral values, it's no longer about racism and all of that. It's about control. And it will leak over from issues like racism to church, to where you go, what you do, what you say, who you marry, all of those things. They want to get their big knuckles in. And this is a test run to see who's weak enough to say, yes, yeah. And people like that is helping. Now, you've been listening to Kevin. I'm sorry I had to do it, but I had to do it. He brought it on himself. Now, don't forget, check me out every Wednesday night, live Kevin's Corner on Facebook, YouTube, my radio blog talk show. Check out Extreme Teas, my sponsor. If you like their products, go to the link below. Go click on the link and put Kevin in the promo code, and you'll get a 20% discount. If you want to donate to Kevin and Kevin's Corner, there's links below the video to do that as well. And then also make sure you're still subscribed and you hit the like button and that your notifications are set to all. Follow me on Facebook, the Twitter, and the Instagram. God bless. Have a great day. Take care.